Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Me gente.
Mi gente. You should let people know what that means, actually. Because you just say it.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know what it was what it meant.
Oh,
Maybe
it
I'm
just means
just...
my people, like in Spanish, mi gente.
Yeah.
It actually used to be back in the day, it used to be like a MySpace version of yeah, it used to be a Spanish version of MySpace. It used to call it mi gente, where you go on, it's like you have a profile and everything. Like
Okay.
legit. My brother used to have it back in the day. If you're
Back
Spanish
in
out
the
there, let me
day.
know.
Right,
I'm
right,
actually
right.
gonna look it up. Maybe it's still out there.
Maybe. Hello, everybody. What's up? Welcome to the stream. We've got a rookie-only Dynasty mock draft today. Really excited for this one. What's up, Cody? Shout out to Cody for signing to our Patreon this week. Means a lot, bro. I really appreciate
Yeah.
that.
All
What's
up.
up, Clyde? Clyde the Glide. What's up, Trippy? What's up? Shout out to you for signing up to our Patreon this week. Means a ton. By the way, shout out to Back in 82. I don't know if
Back in
Back in 82 is
82.
going to be here. Maybe he'll be in the stream a little later, but big shout out to him. Shout out to Tyson. Shout out to Matt. We got a bunch of people signing up for Patreon. In fact, there is one spot left in our first opening for a Dynasty League this year. So if you are at all interested and you want to get into the first league, then now is the time to sign up to get into that first league because there is only one spot left. I will paste the
One
link
spot left.
in the chat. Now, there will be more spots opening up, but if you want to get into that first one, just so you know. What's up, Golf Perk? He says, looking forward to trying to join this one. Yes, sir.
Oh, all love, brother.
And if people want to join this, how do they do that, Badaki?
Yeah,
If
really
they want to
simple.
join this mock draft.
Join our Discord, which is also pinned on the top here of this chat. Join our Discord. Go to the Dynasty Damn It tab, and then there's a Dynasty mock draft where you can join our mock draft, whether it's rookies or Dynasty startups, and even redrafts on our other channel. Once we start getting back into the groove of doing redrafts on the other channel closer to the season. So let us know if you have any questions, if you have any concerns or struggles, maybe join the Discord. Let us know. But yeah, just go join the Discord and then go to the Dynasty Damn It tab. And that's super simple, super easy.
By the way, pretty interesting. Did you hear the reports about the Thursday? I think it was Thursday Night Football crew is trying to poach Sean McVay. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Why would he leave a coaching job to do that right now in his prime, though?
I don't think he was going to leave. I think that's like a thing that he wants to do on top of that.
Right. Okay.
And maybe it can, now
How would
with
that
the
work,
whole
though?
thing, the whole thing with being like remote, like with Peyton and Eli,
Yeah.
he can just be on a call,
But the
from his
issue
house.
is that like these announcers, they have to prep for these games and learn information and everything beforehand. I just don't think that would work.
Yeah,
Apparently,
true.
John Lynch was approached as well. Aikman could be going to Monday Night Football. That's interesting.
Which is, I think it could be good because Monday Night Football team is kind of shot right now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because Monday Night Football is now Peyton and Eli. Like
True.
that's what I watch now.
True.
So
That's
I
fair.
don't really care.
Apparently, Aaron Rodgers is going to make his decision soon. He won't keep Green Bay waiting for an answer much longer. Multiple teams has made a trade offer, and there's talks about Jimmy G maybe not being traded, which
Look it up.
it's all rumor season right now. It's all rumor season. What's up, Sleeper Marcus? He says, what's the buy-in for your Dynasty Leagues? Is it up to members? So basically, there are 5 tiers on our Patreon. One is general support. One is so you can get unlimited advice from us in our rankings. And then the next 3 tiers there are to play in leagues. So whether you want to do redraft only, Dynasty only, or you want to do both redraft and Dynasty, which is best of both worlds. So over there on Patreon, which I pasted that link in the chat, you can see those 3 tiers. If you sign up to those tiers and keep your membership active, that's how you can be in those leagues with us. It is a way to support what we're doing, but in return, you also get our rankings to obviously redraft, dynasty, rookie profiles, rookie rankings. You also get unlimited advice from us through a direct message system that we call the Fantasy Hotline. And
That's
you
right.
get to play in a league where people really, really care about it. So it's essentially your way to support us, keep this brand kicking and be a part of a really good league. And then if you win the league at the end of the year, you win back all your donations. That's how that works there. Cody says, I will sit this one out and give other people a chance to get in. I love
I
that
love
for you,
Cody.
Mel. Trippy says, I really hope Jimmy G gets traded. That would suck for Lance if they didn't trade him. Yeah. I think it's all talk right now, to be honest. Like, I think maybe teams aren't paying the Niners what they want in a trade. And they're like, maybe we're going to keep him. You know, like, I just don't think that that's going to end up being the case.
Yeah, look, I will. It's always interesting with Jimmy G. It's like, he took you guys to the playoffs, in my opinion. I mean, it was a team effort, but Jimmy G was definitely part of that.
For sure. Golf says the Sharps took Jimmy and Trey last year, knowing Jimmy may be around for 2 more years before Lance gets the reins. Yep, 200 IQ. What's up, Christopher Simmons?
What's happening, brother?
Adam says Jimmy to the Giants would be interesting. That is pretty interesting.
I wouldn't mind it. You know, give some heat on the Daniel Jones. He never really had that heat of like, okay, you can actually lose this job.
Yeah.
In the sense of like throughout the season, it was always like, okay, it was always.
I've heard of rumors of him going to Washington. You guys know I'm a Washington fan, but the only issue I have with that is he wasn't good enough to take look. He's a very reliable quarterback, but he doesn't have that difference maker mentality to win a Super Bowl. And if he couldn't do that with the great teams that he had in San Francisco, I don't think he's going to do it with our team in Washington. Do you know what I mean? So that just makes me sad to think, I would rather just draft a rookie is all I'm trying to say. Like, I would rather go with the unknowns. Right. I don't know if that makes sense. Right. All right, let's go ahead and get to what we're going to do here. I just opened Photoshop on accident. Oops. So hopefully my computer doesn't freak out here. And I'll go ahead and move our camera as well. Let's see.
All right, I'm just going to send the link now.
You're going to send the link
Once
now?
Again,
okay.
Dynasty, damn it. Dynasty mock drafts.
Well, yeah, first just recap quickly how people can get in.
Yeah, on Discord. Go to Discord. Join our Discord, which should be in the link in the chat or in the description below. Join our Discord. Go to the Dynasty Damn It tab, and then within that tab, there's another tab called Dynasty Mock Drafts.
Yep.
Click on that. That's where I'm going to send the link. So I'm giving you guys some time because I know it's a little bit delayed. These things really fill up fast now. Maybe not today, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, I'll send it out now. Here we go.
Sleeper says, sounds sweet. Jimmy should be a top 10 quarterback already with the cast around him, and he's not. The time is up. I get that. For the sake of my man Lance shares, I really hope Jimmy is traded. I feel that. All right, so people are joining now. Trippy said, can we share the news for what's happening on Patreon tonight with the chat or not? Absolutely. I'm assuming you're meaning the rookie only, I'm assuming you're meaning our rookie rankings and profiles that are dropping on Patreon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a little context there. Thanks for bringing it up, Trippy. We've been working on scouting these rookies, creating profiles for most of them, and giving our grades for them. We've been working on that for about 2 or 3 months now and putting in hours and hours of work. We know it's imperfect. We know it's not going to be what everyone agrees with. But tonight on our Patreon, right after this live stream, anyone who has the $5 tier and above, so the second tier and above, you will have access to those rankings. So check that out if you want to. Right after this stream, we're going to release it.
Yeah.
Along with a page that shows some context. Chris Simmons says, Chris Amos is in my league. Taught him everything he knows. I love that. Rookie rankings are here, ladies and gentlemen. Those will change, obviously, through the combine.
It's probably going to change within a week or two as well. Yeah, because the combine, the draft, whatever, everything is going to change very, very soon as well. But we wanted to get these out before, so you guys can understand where we're standing now. And then when you get some more context of these players, you can kind of see where we're at.
Yep. Okay, so as I'm telling the chat here in Sleeper, just so you guys are aware, if you're watching, there will be times where I will pause the draft to discuss the picks that have happened, okay? So every once in a while, we'll pause the draft because we could go through this mock in probably 15 minutes easily, you know? So we'll take time at certain points to pause and discuss the picks that have happened. There will be 2 minutes on the clock. Obviously, a little difference of opinion here, but for me, my decision making is 90% based off of the talent that I see on a player in these rookie picks. I always want to choose the most talented player on my board. And then I would say 10% of my decision goes into my team needs. I personally don't want to select a player just to fill a position, even though I see another player as more talented.
Right.
There is so much room for interpretation here. And by the way, we're going to make picks. We're going to say things today that you don't agree with. That's okay. Like, there's so much room for good reasoning why you should take certain players in certain positions. Okay. So I just want to say that before we start. Anything you want to say before we start, Badaki?
No, I think that's fine.
Okay. Tebow fan got in. I love that. Tebow was having some troubles. And shout out to Jack. I don't think we've mocked with you before. Casey, I don't think we mocked with you for. Sleeper Marcus is back. Famous Amos is here, I think, for the first time. Perk, Trippy, myself and Badaki. Pack It Up is here. Lawrence is here. I think, Cass, this is your first time as well. So let's go ahead and start this bad boy. 2 minutes on the clock.
Straight to the point.
Let's see what's popping.
And what just happened?
All right, so Burke's at the 101. No surprise at this point, right? I mean, I think he's been the 101 every time we've done this, and I would take him at the 101 if it was me as well. So I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, this is definitely consensus 101 in the fantasy community. I always like to say, once we find out where he goes, I can definitely change. So that's going to be very, very interesting moving forward as we get closer to the NFL draft. And hopefully we can maybe go live or something for the draft. I still have to double check. If you guys don't know, I am getting married. So I don't know if the honeymoon is right after the wedding. We'll see.
Okay, so we see Breece Hall at the 1-2. I think my unquestioned RB1 in the class. And then Isaiah Spiller at the 1-3. This is a name that we are not as high on as the community, but still, we'll go ahead and pause here and talk about these first 5 picks. But still, you can make a case for it. You know, if you truly do see Isaiah Spiller as a workhorse running back, then you can make a case for him here at the 1-3. For me, I struggle to see him being that long-term, but that's just my opinion. Videos coming out soon on that. And then Garrett Wilson at the 1-4 and Drake London at the 1-5. So no surprises there, I don't think, for the 1-4, 1-5.
Yeah, definitely makes sense in my opinion.
Yeah. We'll just catch up on the chat real quick. Sleeper says, I love some of the guys that you hate, so my picks might surprise you. Casey says, first mock. Cody says, draft for value, trade for need. I love that, man. I love that. Draft for value, trade for need. And Adam says, it's hard to truly disagree with a pick until the NFL draft occurs and we know landing spots.
100%.
I agree with that as well. That's a massively good point. And where's the draft capital? You know, because historically we do have to see, you know, the success rate of a 4th-round pick versus a 2nd-round pick, a 1st-round pick.
Yeah, so 100%. Burks of the Chargers, potentially. That could be interesting. You know, that could be the new Keenan Allen there. If once Keenan Allen is gone, that would be or the Mike Williams, because these guys, they're on the turn here, so they're going to need some new, young, fresh talent.
All right, so Garrett Wilson's at the 1-4, Drake at the 1-5. You can make a case for that happening there. And now Trippy's on the clock, and it's straight off the bat, Kenneth Walker. I think that's good value for me at the 1-6. I see Walker. I don't think you do, Badaki, but I see him as a workhorse running back in the league. At least I think he can be that. So for me, getting a position that is so hard to find in the NFL at the 1-6, I'm totally okay with that.
Kenneth Walker is definitely up there for me. He's my RB3 currently. So, I mean, look, technically it makes sense because you expect some, you know, my RB2 to still be on the board. I'm going to go quarterback here. Okay. Really simple, super easy. Obviously, Malik Willis, the highest upside. I do believe he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's going to be with a great supporting cast over there. Mike Tomlin, the head coach. Najee, you know, Deontay, Chase Claypool could be very, very interesting over there.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Sleeper Marcus.
I think probably Pittsburgh wants him, but they're like where Washington was last year. Everyone knows they need a quarterback, so it's going to cost a lot for them to trade up, and Washington couldn't end up paying what it required to move up. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, so I'm on the board here, and for me, again, you know, this is a player that a lot of people are going to have a disagreement with. For me, taking him this early, for me, I'm not worried about the injury. Okay, I would rather bet on the talent long term. When I look at Jameson Williams, I love his route running. I love his speed. You can't teach that speed. To me, I see a combination of Deshaun Jackson and Jerry Jeudy. A lot of people don't like that. And that's okay. I understand people's concerns, but I'm not worried if he misses the first half of the season. I'm not worried if I don't get a return this year. Like, I'm fine with that. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jameson Williams here. My highest tiered player still on the board. So that's why I'm going to grab him here at the 1.8.
I like it.
Steven says, do you guys remember how landing spots affected your rankings of some of the guys like Chase, Waddle, and Etienne? The good thing about that scenario is that all those players went in good positions in the draft. Do you know what I mean? So I don't feel like it changed very much for us because we expected them to all go quite high in the draft. And no one really went higher or lower than what we expected last year, to be honest.
Yeah, and their situation was very, very unique. You know, Chase went with Joe Burrow, and Waddle went with Tua. So you kind of thought there was some sort of chemistry. And Etienne went with with Trevor. So you kind of thought there was already going to be some sort of chemistry and be some like real ease as they got onto the field, which is kind of what we saw. Besides Etienne, obviously, we didn't see him on the field.
Right.
We saw a good connection and ease. So yeah, definitely didn't change as much as you would think.
I guess like Chase still stayed the wide receiver one. I think maybe Waddle, Devonta Smith was a massive conversation for people. For me, I do believe that Waddle went ahead of Smith because I didn't love Smith's landing spot. So it can change things for sure. Kenny Pickett at the 1.9. It's a super flex league. Makes sense. Probably the most NFL ready quarterback. Then David Bell at the 1.10. So someone definitely believes in David Bell. I don't think this is a reach at all. That's not what I'm saying. There's just a player on the, there it goes, Chris Olave, who's higher in my rankings. I'm not saying it's the right or wrong pick. I just really like Olave as a prospect.
No,
but
makes sense. Makes sense.
Between Bell and Olave, I mean, they are very close in our rankings. So
yeah, for me, David Bell, he's the guy that's up there. I believe in this guy. I think he can be a guy that can get on the field, be a very productive immediately. He's not technically, once you get our rankings, well, actually, I don't want to say too much, but he's up there in my rankings for these wide receivers over some guys that, you know, that are technically supposed to be way before him. So
Steven says all three of those guys went into spots with competition, so that was a curveball for me. Totally.
Okay.
I get where you're coming from. I guess I didn't really see Waddle. Like, I guess people were saying Will Fuller was the competition, but for me, I never really saw him as like a long-term problem. And it's easier to say that now, right? I mean, of course, it's easier to say that now. And I guess with Chase's situation, people might have said, "Oh, well, what about Higgins?" I mean,
Higgins. And,
I think they're both,
Boyd,
you know,
what was
helping
happening?
each other.
Etienne went with James Robinson as well, so there was a lot of things happening there.
That's a very good point.
100%.
All right, Kyron Williams at the 112. I really like this pick here. He is my running back 3. Now, we have to be honest, the volatility of where he could be in the NFL, both in the NFL draft and what his roles could be, we have no idea. I mean, could he be a workhorse? Yes. But could he just be a third down running back, like a J.D. McKissick type role? That's also a very real possibility. But I do love him as a prospect, and he's shown that he can handle a workload. Then Matt Corral, the 2-1, super flex league. At this point, pick your poison with what quarterback that you like.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
King Yada says, do you guys do IDP? Yeah. We do not.
No, we don't.
We try to only cover things that we have what we believe is a good knowledge on. So that's why we don't cover auction drafts or IDP, you know, because we don't know enough about them to actually share good knowledge, if that makes sense.
Trippy said Devonta Parker was seen as competition because he was viewed as underrated. Yeah, absolutely. I think for us, it was a little bit different. We weren't necessarily scared of Devonta Parker, and for me specifically, he was always injured. He was always somebody that was in and out of the game. So I've always expected him to not be on the field most of the time, which technically he kind of picked it up in the second half of the season. If I'm not mistaken.
Always been a talented guy. I just think they complemented each other more than, you know what I mean, more than hurting each other, I guess is the way I saw it. All right, so Dotson at the 2-2, and then George Pickens at the 2-3. A lot of people love Dotson. He definitely has that. He's probably one of the biggest or earliest sleepers or dark horses, if you will. Like him as a talent, catches. Some of the catches that he makes on tape is pretty incredible. And then Pickens at the 2-3. I have the 2-2 in one of my home league startups, and I'm praying to God that I can get George Pickens. He is my wide receiver 5 in this class. He keeps moving up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
again, like if it wasn't for the ACL, I truly believe we're talking about him at the 102, 101 in that kind of area. And then James Cook at the 2-4. For me, I'm not high on James Cook, but Badaki, you do believe in him. So you probably see this as
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah, look, I love James Cook. He's a guy that can, in my opinion, can be an all down back. I think he has a talent. He has the ability to do that. He has a lot less miles on his legs compared to some of these guys that in college, like a Spiller, Brees Hall, obviously, because he was behind a couple people. But you see glimpses of his brother Dalvin. To be honest, I'm not saying he could be Dalvin. I'm saying that maybe Dalvin, he's learning from him. So if you can learn from one of the best running backs in the NFL
Yeah.
and kind of have similarities, then why not bank on that as well?
Mm.
Keep it in the family. Um, so
The sad
it's
part though
interesting.
is that James Cook just doesn't have the build Dalvin does.
100%,
But
100%. And I think what's great about James Cook is that he's also a dual threat
right,
guy. So
right.
he can catch the ball and he has good vision in my opinion. So if he can become
Hmm.
something, has an opportunity, absolutely he can be something. Maybe at the two, maybe not a 2-4 for me,
Yeah.
but I definitely like him.
All right, guys, before we resume, I'm just going to catch up with the chat and say a couple quick things. We do have a like goal of 75 likes. Seems a little bit impossible right now, but with your help, we might be able to get there. So drop a like
Hmm.
to show some love. Gator says, two-part question. What is a fair type of offer to make for a top 5 2022 rookie pick? And what would you need for someone like T. Higgins? I apologize if I've asked either of these before. T. Higgins isn't someone I'm trading for any 2022 pick. I would take T. Higgins at the 101 every day here in this draft. So I'm not moving T. Higgins at all.
Same.
There's
I
nothing that
agree.
entices me about this draft over
Hmm.
T. Higgins. But that's an interesting question, Gator. I would say send us a message if you have a particular trade idea, because I know you have the fancy hotline over there on Discord, because you support us on Patreon. So there's a
Yeah, maybe we
specific
can get
trade
down your
question that
team a
you
little bit
have.
more.
We might be able to help there. Cody
Yeah.
says, I will admit I was wrong on Waddle. Now I am fully in on him. That happens to us everyone is
Yeah.
wrong on
Look,
something.
I was there as well. I mean, I liked Waddle as a talent, but like I was skeptical on Tua, and now what we saw from Tua, a little bit more, I guess confidence I have in Tua. Now I believe in him and Waddle in that connection.
Right. Storm Bucket says, "Can you guys do a post combine rookie rankings video?" Yes, sir. I was actually
100%.
gonna. I was actually because I kind of released my rankings, just because it's hard to like have a video where we both give our top 10. That video would be like
Yeah,
an
we
hour
kind of go
long.
back and forth.
So
Yeah,
we released my rankings, and it's changed so much since we did those first videos. So we'll definitely release new ones.
yeah.
Kenny says, "What's
Same.
up, guys? Spillers went early. I'm in the minority, but I like the kid. I definitely see
Mm.
why people like him. But for me, he wasn't the best player on the board at that point, so I wouldn't have taken him. But I understand why people love him.
Yeah,
McBride's out the board at the 2-5.
Trey McBride, a guy that can do it all.
I
A
like
guy
that
that
pick.
I believe can come in and be, a workhorse tight end right here. That's the 2-5. That feels very, very good. Drake London and Trey McBride, no doubt about it. Then Wandell Robinson, a guy that you love,
I
quote
love
unquote,
Wando.
5'11", might come in as 5'9".
5'7". I
Um,
mean, he could be 5'7", 5'6".
5'7". My goodness. So we're gonna see if that's gonna hurt his draft capital
Just
in the
quickly
NFL
on Trey
combine.
McBride, it's of my belief at least that if you need a tight end, I'm comfortable to take him from the 2-4
There's no
onwards.
doubt about it.
I
There's no
think
doubt
that's
about it. I'm
where the
taking him there.
tiers start to even out for me, and I would take McBride from the 2-4 onwards. A lot of people won't agree. I do
Hmm.
think he's probably going to be a second round pick, and he's going to be on the field for a lot of snaps, even as a rookie. I believe at least. Because of what he can offer to an offense, both in the blocking game and the passing game. Love
Yeah.
Wanda at the 2-6. I think that's great value there. You're on the board here at the
Yeah.
207. Excuse me.
And this makes my decision extremely easy because my running back two is still on the board. A guy that I didn't take last time,
Mm.
and that's Jerome Ford. I mean, this guy can do everything. He is a strong, versatile. He can make people miss.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is everything and more, in my opinion. I think he is absolutely fantastic. He, I think he can be a top guy in the NFL, in my opinion, and I can get him here at the 2-7. That's crazy.
Yeah, we're both higher on Ford than the community. I have Ford higher than Spiller. A lot of people won't like that, but
Hmm.
again, specifically with the rookies, draft capital is going to matter a ton. If Spiller and Jerome's difference in where they're drafted is more than around, then of course I have to reassess because we need to look at the historically what it's meant to be a first, second, third, or fourth round running back. All right, so I'm on the board here, and at this point, I'm honestly going two ways. I'll just say where I'm going. Because it's SuperFlex League, I'm thinking either Sam Howell. I really love Sam Howell. If I'm not mistaken, he is very, very close to being my quarterback 2. He is my quarterback 3. I am mistaken. I am not mistaken. Sorry. He is my quarterback 3.
He's your quarterback
but
3,
it's very, very close between him and Pickett for me. It's a SuperFlex League. In a lot of SuperFlex leagues, you're probably going to see him already off the board, but there is one more player on the board that I'm just obsessed with, and that's Sky Moore. So I'm sitting here in this conundrum. I don't even know if that's the right use of the word. And
conundrum.
Do I follow what's probably the smartest thing to do and grab Sam Howell here, or do I follow my heart and go Sam Howell? And this will definitely be determined by draft capital. Sorry, that's what I meant, Sky Moore. But at this time, I'm going to go Sam Howell.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. Look, I was going through the rankings last night because, I wanted to just go through everything, make sure I was comfortable with what everyone was going to see, and I went to look at every guy's film yesterday, and I was like, Sky Moore is a great guy. He's a good wide receiver. And, I brought him down to my rankings because I do believe there's other people out there that I think it's a little bit more valuable on the board still, which is going to be interesting once whoever has our dynasty our rookie rankings to see.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just not as high on him as I was. I mean, he dropped 2 or 3 spots since yesterday for me. So
yeah, I mean, I've already said as much as I can about why I love Sky Moore.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Very, very complete wide receiver. All right, Justin Ross at the 210. There's probably there's not another wide receiver I'm taking over him on the board. So that makes sense. You can make a case for a couple others, but I would probably take Justin Ross as the next wide receiver. Maybe I am taking a quarterback over some of the talent on the board or a running back, depending if I like them. But you can make a case for that being the right pick for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sleeper says, I'd love to see McBride go to the Jets or somewhere where he can immediately be an alpha. That would be great.
No doubt, 100%. And that's where you hope that he goes.
Yeah.
I think he can maybe put up, Pat Frymuth numbers this year, in my opinion, in his rookie year. And I think that's a good base for him because Pat came in and I think he did great. Pat's the guy.
Christopher Simmons says, Watson hype train rolling strong. Yep. I like Watson. I'm not so certain he's going to be a success in the NFL like everyone else does, but you can't you can't deny the intangibles. Stephen Day says, what round of the NFL draft do these guys have to go in to get y'all to draft them in Dynasty? I'm skeptical of taking a quarterback who was drafted later than 50. Yeah, I think it depends on draft capital, but also the situation. Does Sam Howell fall in the 3rd round, but does he go to the Falcons? Do you know what I mean? Does he fall in the 3rd round, but he falls to Indy?
Yeah,
so
exactly. So
it's difficult to say without knowing the exact situation.
Mm-hmm.
What are both your thoughts on Brian Robinson versus Dameon Pierce? I'm higher on Robinson. I think he's the more complete running back, but I think he might be higher on Pierce. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm higher on Pierce. I think maybe like Zach's always been saying, Brian Robinson has been in the Alabama backfield, that thought process. Maybe he does get picked higher, but I think, Dameon Pierce, I personally think he's a better overall running back compared to Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson is a little bit bigger. But I think Dameon Pierce is a lot stronger and faster and more, versatile than a Brian Robinson.
Agree to disagree there. I don't think we're going to see that one on the same page, but that's okay. To me, I only see Pierce as like a downhill type running back. I see him very limited in the NFL. Whereas Robinson, I think, does a lot of things well, but I get it. All right, so then Sky Moore goes off the board at the 212, and John Mechie at the 3-1. Are we all undervaluing John Mechie? Maybe. It was hard for me to differentiate him between all the other rookies that are in this, tier 4 or whatever you want to consider it.
Yeah. There's still a big gap. I mean, sheesh, there's still a lot of talent on the board.
Yep.
At least for me.
Yep. I agree. There's a couple players I'm looking at thinking,
a lot
is there
of
a way they don't go?
I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. And there's a guy that is still on the board that Rashad White, Tella got. Yeah, see?
Yep, Algier goes along with Rashad
Algier.
White. I think that's really good value for these guys. If you can get
Mm-hmm.
Rashad White and Algier in
Mm-hmm.
the third round, that feels like very, very good risk versus reward. I mean, this is a third round of a rookie draft. Nothing is
Yeah.
guaranteed here, but
100%.
I
100%.
love this value for both of these guys.
Yeah, and Tyler Algier is a guy that just went up my rankings last night. You know, once again, I was just trying to finalize everything. I just went back and watched a game or two, and he's you know how like sometimes you watch something, it's like, oh, I had to come back to it.
Right.
He was one of those guys. I'll come back to it, and I like where he went. He skyrocketed up my rankings. So getting him at the third there is tremendous to me.
Yeah, I love that. Whole city going bum bum bum. Whole city going bum bum bum. Oh
What he
Lord.
said, I'm worried about Brian Robinson being 23 and a half years around the start of the season.
For sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, Rashad White's already 23 as well. Hey, I don't know how old Algier is, to be honest. Off the top of my head, I'd have to look that up. But some of these running backs are coming in quite
21,
old
potentially.
already.
Yeah, I think Algier is 21. I could be wrong. I'll look that up right now, as SD Perk is making
Yes, he is 21, but he will be 22 by the time the draft comes around.
Okay. I think the youngest running back is Spiller. He's 20.
Spiller is the youngest, yeah.
Yeah, which is funny. So
All right, so Brian Robinson, we see a run of 3 running backs off the board. Hey, I don't think Back in 82 is here with us on the stream, but shout out to you, my guy. I really appreciate you signing up to the Dynasty leagues. Excited to play in a Dynasty league with you. One spot left, guys. In case you are at all interested, no pressure, but one spot at all to play in our Dynasty leagues. We will open up more leagues, obviously, once this one is full. But there's one spot left for this first one that we're opening this offseason. All right, so 16 seconds here for SD Perks on the clock. The pressure is on. I wonder
SD
what
Perks
he
is probably trying to send me a trade right now.
Yeah.
SD Perks and I have been talking back and forth for like the past 2 weeks, trying to get
This could be an auto.
a nasty trade
This
going
could be an
on.
auto.
It
Let's
could
see
be
who
an
it
auto.
is.
I think you get.
Okay, so Ritter goes off the board. Makes sense at this point, the 3-5.
That's all right.
Now Trippy is on the board. All right, Trippy, what are we thinking here? Still a lot of players that I like, that I see potential.
100%.
in.
100%.
I know who you're gonna take.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, I have to take him. There's no doubt about it.
There goes Jalen Weidemeyer off the board.
Yeah, and this makes this very easy for me. Another guy that I've always loved, went two spots up my ranking in the last 12 hours, and that's Khalil Shakir. I think he can be an early second round pick in the NFL draft. I think he can skyrocket up these rookie mock drafts or these rookie drafts, just depending on where he goes, where his draft value is, or draft capital is. But I think this guy is fantastic. I mean, I was deep diving on this guy. Like I was looking at his Instagram, I was looking at his history, I was doing everything just to get. It's crazy.
All right, so for me at this point, it's a toss-up. To be honest, I'm actually, if this was a real draft, I would be upset that I took Hal at the 2-8, knowing Strong would have been here, because I would have rather have had Sky Moore, Carson Strong, because I do believe in Carson Strong.
Okay,
but so at this point, I think Carson Strong should be off the board in a SuperFlex league. At this point, there's probably 3 or 4 players I'm looking at. 2 of them I think could last to me in the fourth round, maybe at the 4-8. So I'm gonna go Alec Pierce here. I like Alec Pierce. There's a lot of weaknesses to his game, but one thing that he does very, very well is contested catch. Dude has some of the strongest hands in the class, so I'm hoping that the other areas can develop. Not a very natural wide receiver. Looks more like he's running track out there, but I do like Alec Pierce. I'll take him here at the 3-8.
Okay. Let's just catch up with the chat here. I'm just setting some guys up on my queue right now.
Stephen Day says hips don't lie. Cody says Spiller will be 21 in August. Hall will be 21 on May 31st. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that's ideal. Christopher Simmons says, "Who will be this year's Amon Ra?"
Wow.
It's a
I
good
mean,
question, isn't it?
look, I actually think I've kind of comped Shakir to Amon Ra. Not saying if I'm
Shakira.
not mistaken. I could be wrong. I need to double check that.
Yeah,
But I mean, if I had to say one right now, it'd probably be Shakira.
yeah. For me, I think it would be Sky Moore. Different players, right? I'm not comparing them as players, but someone who's a
Hmm.
little bit more unknown that I think could present value, and we could be seeing them in a different light by this time next year. I think that's Sky Moore for me. Trippy says, so we make our money back from that $10 monthly league if we win the league, or did I hear that wrong? That's right, Trippy. If you win the league, whoever wins it each year, they get their whatever they donated that year, they get all the money that they donated back. That's the prize winnings essentially. So
All
then
good.
Zamir White's off the board at the 3-9. We always talk about it. My guy, 5-star recruit. Unfortunately, ACLs in both his knee.
Yeah, man.
Torn.
This guy
And then
is.
Carson Strong at the 310. That is really good value. Come
That's
on.
100%. 100%. You know, we have to have this conversation.
Okay.
If a super flex league, if Carson Strong is there, I mean, why don't you take Alex Pierce over Carson Strong? I mean, Carson Strong over Alec Pierce, excuse me.
Well, I explained all that during my pick.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I must have just blanked that in that because I
Does
think
this
I was
guy
setting
not
my
even
cue.
listen to me when I'm
I was
talking?
setting up my cue. I know you said that you would have not taken Sam Howell at all, knowing if you knew that Carson Strong could have fell to the third or fell to you in the third. I'm saying, I mean, why not take both?
Well, if that's something that you want to do, then you can do that. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, I
Well,
can't predict what would have happened in the future if I didn't take Sam Howell. Would Strong have gone? I'm not sure exactly what to say there.
I guess my thought
I kind
process
of
is like,
explained that when I made the pick.
right, okay, yeah, I'm just a piece of shit, honestly.
Just listen. Cole Turner at the 311. I love Cole Turner. I think he probably would have been available at the 411 though. Tebow, I know you love him as much as I love him based off of when you've drafted him, but I do think he's probably available at the 411 when you come back there. Tolbert at the 312. Very interesting prospect out of South Alabama, I believe. Golf Perk says, sorry for the auto pick, but I had Ritter in my queue. Can't believe he fell that far. Yeah, that's pretty far for Ritter to fall. I mean, look, I know that we aren't high on these quarterbacks, but I do think the top 5 should probably go in the first, maybe like 3-2 should be the last time we see a quarterback go.
Yeah.
Isaiah Likely at the 4-1. Stephen Day says, does Strong have medical questions? I worry that taking a quarterback who's going to sit and doesn't have high capital would just be burning that pick. That's a good, I mean, look, again, Steve, it's a very good question, but at the end of the day, we gotta figure out where he's going in the draft. Because if Carson Strong does fall to be a 5th-round pick, that probably isn't a good pick there anymore,
Yeah,
right?
100%, no
You're
doubt
right.
about it.
It's definitely draft capital is going to be huge here. That's why we keep saying after the draft, this board will look completely different, and our rankings will be slightly different as well.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he has any. I could be wrong, but I don't think he has any medical issues.
Yeah, I didn't hear of any medical issues, but typically we try and find anything on
Let me
that side.
try to look that up really fast, but I don't think he does have anything. At least none that I heard of.
Apparently, okay. So this is an article on the 4th of February
Series.
talking about
Okay.
his knees. Apparently, he's got
Yeah.
some knee issues. So this is interesting. I'm glad that you brought this up.
Impacted by a serious knee injury he suffered during his senior year. So, which was this year.
Right. So maybe he didn't get injury on it or didn't get surgery on it.
Yeah,
we'll have to look at that.
Look more into it.
Isaiah Likely at the 4-1, definitely someone that I like. And then Abram Smith, I assume that is there at the 4-2. I mean, at this point in the 4th round, you take your shot on who you think is the right player. Then Zonovan Knight off the board, had a great start to his college career. But then honestly, after that great start, it's hard for a lot of GMs to look at him and see how strong he started versus
Yeah.
how average it was to finish his college career, that might be a little bit difficult. Steven says, I just can't wait for the draft. You're in the right place. We all are obsessed with the draft as well.
We just can't wait for the combine next week or this week, actually.
Yeah, we're actually debating if we should go live.
Yeah, and that's good now. Yeah,
the
that's great
combine.
that we brought that up. What do you guys think? Should we go live? Look, we probably can't go live maybe for the whole thing. I think the only ones if we were to go live for, is quarterbacks and wide receivers. We won't be able to go live for the running backs. I could be
There's
wrong.
the first day is quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends. So we might go live for that. I think that would be this time next week, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. So there goes your boy.
I was hoping Beatty was going to fall to me. I love me some Tyler Beatty. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like we always say, we never want to pretend that we know everyone. I have no idea who Julius Chestnut is. Genuinely, no idea. Never heard of the name. Maybe I'll have to research him a little bit more. I know Ty Chandler out of North Carolina. Interesting prospect. Now you're on the board here.
Yeah, I'm going to take Jerron Ely, a guy that I also starting to like as well. A smaller back, a little bit lighter. I think he's a great pass catching back as well. Maybe get a third down role in a team potentially, in the future. So in the 4th round, I think that's decent.
By the way, 5-star recruit. Despite his size, still a 5-star recruit. All right, so I'm on the board, and I was hoping Beatty would be here, but Zaquandre White.
Got the other dude.
I love me some Zaquandre White. The stats will not show you the entire truth. Obviously, so he went to Florida State, was beat out by Cam Akers. They tried to move him to linebacker. I don't think he really loved it. He went to JUCO. Whether that was to play running back or there was some disciplinary issues, I don't know. But then he got a chance at South Carolina to play running back, and he is just a special player. And at this point in the 4th round, Zaquandre White might not ever get the draft capital to be relevant, but I'm willing to take a risk on what I see from him on film. The lateral quickness is something very, very special, so I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
And by the way, I found out he is going to be at the combine, but
Zaquandre,
right? I think they named him Quandre White. So I was looking at the list, and I was like, where the hell is Zaquandre White? And then someone commented on a video, and they were like, no, I think he's under Quandre White.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And Bailey Zappi at the 4.9 put up video game numbers, but the competition's questionable, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Stephen Day says, I'd like a live reveal of combine reactions. Trippy says, would love to see combine live stream. NFL draft would also be a sick live stream, but I completely understand if you won't be available for that.
Yeah.
So we did that last year. We might do it better this year. We'll see.
Yeah, we did this last year. I don't
know.
One thing I have to say for the community and to Zach, because I haven't really spoke about it yet. I'm getting married. Zach knows that. I had to double check when the honeymoon is because I get married on April 23rd. The combine's the weekend after, literally a week.
You mean the draft?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the draft is I think that Saturday or Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not sure if I'll even be here. Maybe Zach has to do a solo dolo.
Maybe.
Potentially, but I'll let you know as soon as possible. We haven't booked our.
Honestly, bro, how dare you? How
Honestly.
dare you go on your honeymoon during the draft?
Probably.
Jeez.
Yeah. I was looking at it because Ellen and I was talking about it last night, and I was like, "When's honeymoon again?" And she was like, "Oh, it could be this date." And the first thing I thought, I was like, "Shit, the NFL draft."
That's terrible.
It's actually terrible. I was like, "Shit." I think that I didn't say that out loud. I was like, I think that's a draft in my head.
Yeah.
And I knew if I said that, she would be like, "What?" Like,
this motherfucker. Romeo Dubs at the 4.11. I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I like that pick there at the 4.11.
It was Anthony Brown. I have no idea who that is, to be completely honest.
Apparently he's a quarterback out of Oregon.
Okay.
I don't know enough about him to speak on him, though, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
All right, we got one more pick here, and then we will take you through. I think you guys are okay. You guys are getting better and better at drafting players. I mean, from our perspectives, right? I'm trying to think of players that you might have missed on. There's no quarterbacks that I can think of. Running back wise, maybe Keontae Ingram. I don't know if he went off the board, did he? Keontae Ingram out of USC.
I don't think he
That's
has.
really the
No.
only guy that I think should have been maybe drafted. And then Kyle Phillips, maybe Calvin Austin. Velus Jones Jr. didn't go off the board.
Yeah, he didn't go off the board.
But you can make a case for those guys not being drafted as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
Everyone did
everyone
well.
did all right.
Yeah,
It's
everyone
getting
did really
look.
well.
These guys are going higher and higher, and some other people are going lower and lower. Like for example, Sky Moore was taken probably the latest he's ever been taken. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
In our community, he's always been taken. At the beginning of the second.
Mid-second almost. Kind of right around Wandale typically.
Yeah, and these running backs and all these guys are kind of going in those same places. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. I think this is really good. I feel like this is maybe a little bit more accurate to. Well, nothing's accurate at this point. Let's be honest. Nothing's accurate at this point. But this felt like a good draft to me from everyone. Trippy said Velus Jones Jr., Kyle Phillips, Calvin Austin, Calvin Jackson, all guys he had in his queue, so he already knew.
Yeah,
if you had a 5th round, then maybe those are names that you look at in the 5th round. Although I would also say if you have a 5th round, why? At that point, you're drafting guys who are on the practice squad. You know what I mean? But we will plug a couple things before we end the stream. It is plug season. We are literally in about 10 minutes from now, I'm about to send out an email to all of the people who support us on Patreon with the first drop of our rookie rankings along with rookie profiles. There's a cover letter that you need to read to understand the context, so make sure that you read that. But those will be out literally in 10 minutes. You'll be able to view them. Make sure you view them on desktop. You can view them on mobile, but it doesn't look as good. It looks much better on desktop. And please comment on Patreon if there's anything that you see that you think might be an error, not in our judgment of the talent, but maybe if the document looks different.
Please let us know.
But I'm excited about that. And if you guys do want access to that, I'll go ahead and paste the link here in the chat. Again, patreon.com/fantasylandfam. Everyone from the $5 tier above, so Close Friends Plus and above, everyone gets access to these rankings that we're about to drop. One spot left in that first Dynasty League that we've opened. There will be more Dynasty Leagues, but if you want to get into that one, now is the time. Christopher Simmons says, I can only hope that Sky Moore falls to me at 212. I agree, man. Yeah. Sincere McCormick, if he gets the draft capital, he's an interesting player.
He's a guy out there.
Yeah.
All right. Haskins was also out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically, if you like him.
I think that's it. The only other thing that I would say is we do have a redraft channel where we cover redraft and DFS. I just pasted that link in the chat as well. So if you are interested in, it's not redraft season, but go ahead and drop a sub over there because redraft season will be here soon as well. So we'll cover redraft, DFS, all that good stuff over there on that channel. We're also covering a lot of the free agency content over there.
That's right.
So yeah, huge love, guys.
Yeah, all love. Appreciate you guys.
A ton of content coming out this weekend. What should people be excited for? What content do we have coming out?
Man, we have a lot. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up the document. I can think of Isaiah Spiller is coming out. That's the first one that comes to mind. Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm. CeeDee Lamb. We got Dynasty sell high wide receivers. We got.
There you go. We have the grading Dynasty ones went out for this week. So I think that's what we have so far.
We got Sam Howell, Rashad White. So there's some good stuff coming out soon. Gator says that how much difference in timelines will you guys be doing your Dynasty drafts versus redraft, or will they be in similar ranges? Difference in timelines. The Dynasty ones will be earlier for sure than the redraft ones. Redraft ones will be way closer to the season. Dynasty ones, we will do those mostly pretty soon after the NFL draft. So,
yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, have a good rest of your day. Message us on Discord if you have any cues, and
appreciate it.
Stay safe.